Buff Nation, what is going on? Hope you guys are having an absolutely incredible Wednesday. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Huge apologies. I am so sorry. We started late. My fault. My fault. Didn't show up till 8:02. Russ, how are you doing today, man? I can't believe we're almost here at the end of the season. And I think things right now, we're talking about ideal scenarios. Colorado's right there at the most ideal scenario, I think, right now, man. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great, doing great. Yeah, it's been interesting to see. I mean, everything's falling into place right now, David. Everything is falling into place, and it's a great time to be a Buffs fan. So yeah, I'm excited. I think this is going to be a big week. I think this is going to be a big week on multiple fronts.
Yes, we got a lot to talk about. We have, of course, Carter Smith, that breaking news to cover. We have Shrine Bowl. I mean, is the Shrine Bowl now turning into the premier bowl for NFL prospects? Is Prime flipping the old model on top of its head right now? We can talk about that. Of course, we're going to give our thoughts on the total BTA we brought to the Utah Utes finally, and then get to our Kansas Jayhawks, Colorado Buffaloes preview. Y'all be sure, join the chat. Come on now. We don't even have one chat yet. Smash that like, subscribe, and let's get this thing going. So, Russ, break it down for us, man. What just happened like an hour ago?
Yeah, so I mean, the thing that we all knew was coming. Cardi Smith officially, they officially decommitted from USC, which we all saw coming. Surprised it took this long for him to decommit, but also noticing a trend. So rather than Cardi Smith flipping or Juju Lewis flipping, they just both decommitted. So I feel like there's some like behind the scenes stuff. Like, I think there's some preparation going on there. Some maybe collaboration perhaps with Colorado to figure out, the announcements and stuff. Also today, it got deleted. Juju Lewis commented on Chauncey Gooden's Instagram post. So,
What do you say? What do you say?
he just said rocket ship on one of his posts that he posted today about his high school season. And so, him and Chauncey Gooden are now interacting on social media when they didn't really have a reason to. So yeah, it's up and up. Like the recruiting scene is heating up. I talked about this a little earlier today. From what I've heard from a booster, we're looking really good for Uwosu Boateng. And I'm saying like, maybe at the beginning of the week or last week, I might have been 50-50. I'm saying maybe 70-30 now to the Buffs. Like, I think he's leaning our way pretty heavily. I think we're definitely getting London Merritt. I think we're definitely getting McPherson. I think we're going to see all of that start to play out here in the next week or so, which is why I said I think we're going to have a very big week as Buffs fans, not only because of coming off the massive win against Utah, the potentially big win against Kansas, but then also the recruiting wins that are about to pour in and just make Coach Prime and the team look so good.
It's going to be a wild 2 weeks, man. And
Yeah.
we could get, these flips to happen. Of course, early National Sign Day, what is 2 weeks away from
Yeah,
today?
roughly or so. Yeah.
So all this stuff could happen before the Big 12 championship, anything like that. And of course, we need our Buffs to take care of business, get ourselves to Arlington. But when we're looking at what could be, in the horizon for this Buffalo's offensive line, Jordan Seaton, Cash Cleveland,
Oh,
and we're talking about Carter Smith at right tackle, Chauncey Gooden at guard, Michael Carroll. I mean, Alabama seems to be sweating a little bit. So, hey, if we can pull off that too, regardless of who is going to be playing behind center, they're not going to be Shador. And it's going to be imperative for this offensive line to be a strength next year. And it seems like Coach Prime and the rest of the staff they understand that. Obviously, they're the real professionals, and it seems like what their actions are telling you is that they understand that that needs to be a strength for next season.
Yeah, and there was a good question in the chat about, are these guys going to be ready to play immediately? Maybe not all of them. If we were to get Michael Carroll, 100%. That dude is starting day one. He is the size of a Division One offensive lineman guard. I honestly think that if Carroll flips from Bama to Colorado, it's because he will be playing immediately. Okay. I don't think he plays immediately at Bama. I don't think he's on the same level as like Proctor was. So I do think he would have to sit at Bama. And I think that's honestly why he's loving this idea. I think he loves Coach Prime. I think he loved his time in Boulder and just seeing how cool things were, how awesome things are there. And then I think him talking to Prime and probably hearing from him, hey, we've got 2 guard spots open next year. So come and play with us. You have a very high likelihood of playing. And so that is why I believe that, Carroll is starting to trend. Cardi, I don't know. Tackle is a rough spot to play. Seton is a unicorn. We've got to realize that, okay? Seton is a unicorn. So to expect Cardi Smith to have the same sort of play, we have to limit our expectations there. But he would be on the right tackle. We already know we don't have the greatest play from our right tackle at times now. So could we survive with some issues there to let Cardi develop, to join with Juju and, develop together and figure that out? Possibly. No idea where Gooden will be when he comes, but we have depth on the line because we've got Kirkland. We've got, all the other guys in this offensive line. Zach Owens is another big one. Tyler Brown probably comes back for another year.
Chris Morris.
We've got the guys. Okay. So we are going to be deep. And yes, I am saying deep at offensive line next year. So the competition will be high. So I think, we're in a great, great place when it comes to that.
I think so too, man. It's just fun to follow every little step.
Ugh.
We know. I mean, Adam Munster Tiger right now is 4 for 4 on the year with his crystal ball. So when he drops a crystal ball, I think that you can stamp it as this thing's going to happen. So you imagine Julian Lewis, Cardi Smith are having something planned, and it's going to be fun to see how some of these things are going to be announced. Russ, just speaking off the cuff, you got any theories or ideas for how we might learn about this stuff becoming official?
How, I don't know. When, I'm thinking this weekend. I think that some of the dominoes may start to fall over the weekend, if not the very first point of the week. Now, I will say, based on some of the people I've talked to, they believe that the team and boosters and the NIL and all that will probably know this weekend for sure where a lot of that is. And so that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. It may not be public until the beginning of next week. So I think that's kind of the timeline we're on. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know what order they're going to go in because, like we said, London Merritt's a lock. McPherson's a lock. I don't know about Boateng. So we at least got 4 guys that are for sure locks that are probably announcing here in the next week or so. But I do like our chances with Boateng, and he's honestly one of the guys that I'm most excited for out of that group, unless Michael Carroll all of a sudden drops out of the sky as well at some point. But when it comes to guys that I could see really being productive next year, I think Boateng is already ready to step into that linebacking room and make a difference, next year. So a lot of exciting players to look at.
Yeah. And again, this is very interesting because I think right now the proof is in the pudding. You've seen the concept or whatever proven that this model can work, and with a handful of guys, I think hopefully leaving for the NFL, Some of these guys, they're probably getting fantastic offers, or some of them are committed to some of the top programs in the country. I think one thing that we can probably offer, because we don't have class after class after class after class of building these large pipelines on campus, is that some of these guys could play early. And I think it's just going to come down to which environment that they really prefer. Of course, we're a little biased, but I think, hey, uh, as long as the NIL is in range and we can offer earlier playing time, show that we can develop already, what's not to like?
For
What's not?
sure. And, I think things are going to get really interesting. I don't know if you watched Matt McChesney's show on Monday,
Mm-mm.
but he dropped a little tidbit. He dropped a couple tidbits on the show. Of course, you guys go check him out. I'm not always the biggest fan of Matt, but he has the inside information. I mean, he's tied to the program so tightly. But the couple little bit of tidbits that he gave out first, Brett Kolajay was at Georgia with Juju Lewis this weekend. He said, don't worry about it. Okay. Just like Coach Barry here, there is a lot of things that are screaming out there that Georgia is not a player in this. Okay.
Right.
Anybody who thinks that Julian Lewis even is thinking about Georgia and that wasn't just a leisure trip
Yep.
needs to get off their high horse. There's way too many things, whether it's the quarterbacks they've offered. They had 3 quarterbacks visiting this weekend, Dave, including their already committed quarterback for 2025.
And they got a loaded quarterback room in general right now.
Exactly. They've
So,
got stacks on stacks on stacks. So
yeah.
Julian Lewis not going to Georgia. But the other tidbits he gave, okay? He spoke to Michael Carroll at the game because obviously he was visiting with his son on a visit. So Michael Carroll was there. He said he loved talking to Michael Carroll, getting to talk to him about, why it would be so great for him to come, what he should be doing. He said he loves Bama because Bama's offensive line coach used to be at CU. And so he knows that, he would get developed great there. But he also said, like, man, if you come to Bama or if you come to CU, you're playing next year and you are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And you would be smart to come here and join this program. And, you'd have me as a resource to train with. You'd have so much going on. So he said that made him feel really good. That conversation he had, he didn't obviously reveal. But then the biggest tidbit that he gave that just made me go, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. He said, and I quote, that he saw the transfer portal board for Colorado. And he said, the one thing he will tell everybody is buckle up because it is going to be a good off season to be a Buffs fan, is all he said. He said, oh man, did that get him juiced up because they're going to get some dogs out of the portal this upcoming year. And unlike past years where, we were really going hard after some, I think a lot of portal players are going to go hard after CU rather
Right.
than the other way
Yeah.
around this time once we get there. So that's why they're kind of building that already. They're hearing from kids already starting for next year saying, hey, I want a spot and I want it now.
Oh, man, that is music to my ears. And I think that, I mean, when Mel Tucker Midnight Meldus, man, who would have thought we'd be in this, situation 3
Who'd have
years
thought?
later?
Who'd have thought? Let's, the Paul Rudd meme. I mean, who'd have thought we'd be here? Not
It's
us, not
it's
us.
surreal, man. It really is. Thank you, Coach Barry, for the $10 super for, putting this argument to bed for us. I appreciate it. But Russ, with what you're talking about, with guys reaching out to Colorado, saying, "Hey, come, I want to come out there to play." All this stuff, it's beautiful, and also not only are we getting the wins, but you're seeing the development. You're
Yep.
seeing the NFL spotlight. All the scouts show up at practice throughout the year, right? And now what do we see? We see 6 Buffs commit to the East West Shrine Bowl to play/practice. I don't know if Shador is going to play, but I would imagine he's going to practice, like no doubt about it. I think that this is huge because all 6 of these guys that have been invited, I think that and have accepted, I think they all have NFL potential.
Yeah.
And this just speaks to the character of Shador, man, that he's going to go into this game, help these guys elevate their draft stock. What are your thoughts on the news of that being released this morning?
Yeah, I do think that Shador will play because of what he can bring to those guys. A couple other people made these comments earlier to me. That game is not going to be hard hitting. There's not going to be, you know, that risk of injury. Shedeur can sit back there and sling the rock to his teammates and really make them look good on the national stage, so more people get exposure to Will, to LeJounte, to Jimmy especially, because he's going to need that. But yeah, I just think that you know, it's really awesome to see. And Dave, what I've been thinking about too is like, could we have the most drafted CU players in the history of the program in one draft? Like, I don't know if we've historically looked at what is the most players we've had drafted.
Give me a second. Keep talking.
Look for that, because I feel like we have a potential to have the most CU players in a single draft drafted. We know that Shedeur, Travis are going. Okay. I'm thinking LeJounte for sure is going at this point.
They had 10 in 95. That's insane.
Holy crud. Okay, maybe not. Wow, I did not realize it was that.
Wow.
Was that Slash? Was that Cordell's year?
Yeah.
Michael Westbrook was on that, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, he was first round. Okay. Yeah, I'll read all this off.
Yeah, what do we got?
But we could get close to it, man. Like I really
think we could. I think we could, especially in the defensive side. BJ, Levanta, Nakai Hill-Green, Cameron Silman-Craig. That's at least 4 more, plus the 3 I already said. So that's 7 that I think for sure could get drafted. So what did it look like, that 25? Okay.
Right. So we had Michael Westbrook and Rashawn Salam.
Oh,
jeez. Go in the first round.
Christian Foria.
Yeah. Ted Johnson, inside linebacker, Cordell Stewart, all go in the second round. So you had 5 guys go in the first 2 rounds.
Wow.
Darius Holland, Chris Hudson in the 3rd round. Then you had Derek West, offensive tackle, Shannon Clavel, defensive tackle. In the 6th, Tony Birdie. And yeah, I guess that rounds it out. But yeah, that's insane, man. 10 draft picks. It's crazy that we're even talking about getting there, man. We could possibly get it if we go 10-2. We win the conference. And I mean, I think, man, if we win a college football playoff matchup, I think we're going to challenge for those 10 spots. I think that could be a thing.
I absolutely could see that. It'll be very interesting to see what people think once we get to that point, because I think a couple things happened too last year. I think people are seeing how good Xavier Weaver is turning out and not getting drafted. And I heard several people say that they've been talking to scouts as far as Cameron Silman-Craig. Like, they cannot not draft him, because the way that I've heard it is, like, if he gets on a roster, he's not coming off of it. So if you want him, you better draft him and not just try to get him as a undrafted free agent, like, at all.
Man, I love it. Well, before I close this, I just want to take a look. Man, yeah, it's been a few years since we've had guys drafted. You know, the 2020 class, Laviska Shenault, Davion Taylor in the 3rd round, and then Arlington Hambright, offensive guard, in the 7th round. Juwan Winfrey, I still think, is around on some different practice squads. And Isaiah Oliver, is he on the Bengals now? He's somewhere. He's still playing.
Yeah. Well, and look at 2017. That's obviously the year that we went to the Pac-12 championship. So again, you win games, you get drafted. Okay. And that 2016 team had 4 draft players from Colorado, which looks to be one of the best ones that we had for quite a while, the last decade or so. So yeah, we go to the Big 12 championship. You're going to see more of these guys drafted, because that means they're performing. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But yeah, it's incredibly exciting. In case you guys need to be reminded or haven't heard, the 6 guys accepting the invite to go to the Shrine Bowl: Shedeur Sanders, Jimmy Horn, Will Shepard, LeJounte Wester, Shiloh Sanders, and Cameron Silman-Craig. I think all those guys have potential to be drafted. And my thoughts on Shiloh, his odds getting drafted, has changed all throughout the year. Yep. But this definitely is going to help him. And I hope that it puts any question marks to bed. But Cameron Silman-Craig, man, This guy deserves to get drafted with I think a very decent draft pick. I saw the East West Shrine Bowl guy, the guy who heads it all up. He was saying how he reminds him of Buda Baker. Somebody commented on that video I put out this morning. He said, "How about Bob Sanders? I like that comp too. Bob Sanders, pretty good."
Yeah, I think that's very similar. That's a good 1-to-1 comparison for those two. So, yeah, I'm very interested. I think Cameron Silmer-Craig has a very, very bright future ahead of him. A number of these guys have a bright future. I think Shiloh, I think he still gets drafted probably late, and I think a lot of that has to do with the lineage as well, and giving him that opportunity. I could see that happen with him, even if some people, may say in the comment that they don't agree with it. But he's probably going to get drafted.
This would be hilarious, man. This is going to get me in trouble with Shiloh, man. I'll tell you. But I want to just be hilarious. You start the draft with Shedeur Sanders, #1 overall, and then you end the draft with Mr. Irrelevant, Shiloh Sanders.
Hey, that would be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
Shedeur would never let him live it down.
No, he would give him so much crap for that for a very long time.
Yeah, we just book in the draft. Sanders to start, Sanders to end the draft. It would be great. Shall we get into the game or anything else that you want to talk about?
No, let's do it. Let's get into chatting about the good stuff.
Okay, well, guys, Utah came into town and we finally whooped them, man. What was the score again? I can't even remember. But Russ, I think I said 31-0. Man, I thought we were going to get it. I thought we were going to get it. But what happened on that first drive, man? Pick
on the first play.
Pick City? Why is the first drive just pick City, man? I feel like we just need to run the ball 3 times, 3 and out. Even when we get a 3 and out, we're punting it. That's a win right now. But overall, what were your thoughts on that blowout that happened last weekend?
I mean, it's what we thought was going to happen. Utah, unfortunately, is just a bad team right now when you have the number of injuries that they have. And I'll be honest, Isaac Wilson impressed me at times. He made some really big time throws. I think he's going to be the future of the Utah quarterback room there. I think he could develop into a very, serviceable to good quarterback. So I'm interested to see that. But the rest of that team just kept dropping like flies, whether it was before the game, whether it was during the game. You had the running back get the hand injury, which obviously was affecting him all game with how he was catching the ball and running with the ball. So, it's unfortunate for Utah, but what I loved, Dave, is I loved how we finished that game. Getting the score to just explode out finally at the end was exactly what I needed to see from this team. The defense did what they've been doing. The offense finally kind of finished really well for a change. So really love that. Really love the transition, the momentum that's building with this team. And I really think this is going to carry over to this weekend and through the rest of the season because I think that this is a different team. They are not going to take any opponent lightly. They're not going to take anything for granted. Coach Prime has that team juiced. I love the video of the defense, like in that third, fourth quarter, singing and jumping up and down and rapping on the sideline. Like that is and Rob Livingston joining in on all that, getting into like, my goodness, seeing the chemistry and the love that's going on with this team, that shows you that this team is going to be able to overcome any type of adversity going forward. And you've got to love seeing that from them.
Yeah. It truly just feels like, man, this is a team of destiny, man.
Yes.
I really do feel that way. And I still feel like we haven't hit our peak potential yet, which is great. Let's leave our best ball for the most important games. But the fact that, it was kind of a sloppy game. Of course, Joel Klatt was calling it, and he says it how it is, man. He's like, there are times and spurts where this offense is unstoppable. And then there are just drives where they just can't get anything going. It's the weirdest thing. But when that's going on, and you say, well, we didn't play our best, but you see we pretty much hung a 50 burger up on them. I mean, what can you really hate? Right? Like, what can you really hate on? And yeah, with Isaac Wilson, it was funny, man. I was listening to this Utah fan podcast yesterday. Shout out to them. They were hilarious. And but one of the guys on there, I feel like they feel like it's just an Isaac Wilson or quarterback issue. I don't know if it's that, man. He's a freshman. I think it's more of a coaching issue, and for Utah's sake, I hope they can correct it. But this was a very good defense, and we did to that defense what I was expecting over time, which was to, really put it to them. So, shall we talk about Kansas? This game means a ton.
Well, before we do that, there is a little bit of breaking news. Julian Lewis just got another crystal ball to Colorado from a national analyst at Rivals. Cardi Smith just got a crystal ball at the exact same time from Rivals. Oh, and also, by the way, two other things. Our recruiting analyst or recruiting staff, Darius Dardenbox, just put eyeballs up. And Quentin Gibson just reposted Cardi Smith's decommitment from USC on his Instagram.
I've been wondering what's been up with him.
It's happening right now, Dave. It is happening. The recruits are having a grand old time with this right now. We could be seeing something a lot sooner than this weekend. So keep tabs on that, guys. Follow us on social medias because we keep tabs on that for you, so you don't have to be on top of a USC shambles.
I love it.
No, they're not. Remember, they got a better quarterback now. They got the better quarterback. That's all that matters.
What's going on in LA? What's going on in LA? Oh man. I love it. Okay, this is random. I got to pull this up though. Because I just have to talk to you about it, Russ. Give me 1 second. Because people want to talk about how this is a clown show out here. I mean, is this real? Is this true? What, like, is this true? Alabama former 5-star Keanu Cott was suspended from the team following a comment he made on social media regarding his coach's oldest daughter. Asked if she wanted this horse. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Followed by a picture. So
man, I didn't even read that part. Followed by a horse, man.
Yeah.
What is going on in Alabama? This is not Nick Saban's Alabama.
No. Well, and I mean, hey, at least you can say this from DeBoer. I mean, he got rid of him. I mean, he's gone. Like, that guy is gone off the team. So at least they didn't keep him around and say, oh, he's a 5-star, he's good, we're going to keep him around. I mean, they kicked him off the team. That's going to happen. You can't control everything. It's whether or not you kick him off or not. Let's compare Alabama right now.
Big Money Carl? I mean,
I don't know.
I'm going with it. I'm going with it.
I mean, okay, if we compare Bama to Georgia, Dave, okay, what happened in the last year at Georgia? Has anybody been kicked off the team or suspended in half of those, issues of the DUIs and all? No, they haven't. But does anybody ever talk about Georgia and what is going on there? No. Nobody cares because of Kirby Smart.
Yep. Kirby dumb. That's what I like to call him. Kirby dumb.
Please bring up Eric Morris's comment.
Oh, let me scroll down and find it. Yeah, 2 words, giddy up. Oh.
Okay, I'll give it to you. That was good. Eric. That was good.
That was too funny, man. But regardless of if it is true or not, hey, about time. There's some crazy articles that are coming out that aren't about this program, but nonetheless, man, if if Georgia was doing what they were doing, or if Coach Prime and his Colorado Buffaloes were doing what Georgia was doing, man, he would be crucified. Y'all know the double standard.
Oh,
Y'all know the privilege.
If one person got arrested or fined for littering on this football team, you know it would be the leading story on ESPN, right?
Right. Yeah, but then like imagine if Coach Prime had ridiculed a player of his, like Kirby Smart ridiculed that player for celebrating with some friends on the field after a game, calling him an idiot and all this stuff. Again, that's hashtag Kirby dumb. That's Kirby dumb. I just got to say it. That's what we got to call him. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And it's amazing what 5-star talent can overcome, because it can overcome bad culture.
I don't love the double standard going on. I mean, it happens now too with the recruiting. I got in a long fight with a Oregon fan who was just going off on the fact that Julian Lewis's stars did not go down because of Colorado. And it's like, there is a double standard. You cannot tell me that every player that commits to Colorado that gets his spot dropped, okay? Jordan Seaton was the number 1 tackle for like 5 years. And the moment he commits to Colorado, all of a sudden he's the number 3 tackle on the board with nothing happening. Like, time and time again, you can show the timing between Colorado being involved and the dropping. And my favorite thing was they posted, well, he was still a USC commit when they dropped his star. See, it happened in July. I'm like, do you know what happened right before they dropped his star? Literally the week before was his OV to Colorado. Like, the timing on that was absolutely insane. The double standard for Colorado, for Coach Prime, for anybody associated with this program is absolutely a joke.
That's why I just raise the hand and say, you want this horse?
Just move on.
You want this horse. That's right. Okay.
That's the new saying. That's the new saying, guys. Everybody in the chat.
Jay, I'm about to put you in timeout. I can't believe you. And I'm just playing. All right. Enough of that digression. We play the Kansas Jayhawks, man.
That's right.
And what is your first take on the Kansas Jayhawks? What kind of matchup are we going into in Arrowhead?
Yeah, so I think it's going to be one of the toughest matchups of the season. But the fact that it's at the end of the season for us, it couldn't be a better thing. Both teams are playing some of their best ball of the year already. If we just go on paper, we have them beat. But that obviously means we have to actually produce and come through. I just love what this team is putting together. I love the consistency. I love the fact that they are buying into what Coach Prime is saying. They are working their butts off. They are, really taking this seriously. And as a result, I am not too worried about Saturday. I truly don't. We do what we need to do. We play the way that we can play. It should be no problem whatsoever. Kansas, on the other hand, they will have to play their best game to beat us. And even then, I don't know if it's going to be enough, because they do not have the playmakers in order to make up for what Colorado has available to them. Offensively, obviously, Jaden Daniels coming on. He is a really good running quarterback. Statistically wise, a lot of good things to be said. He has 6 touchdowns rushing. Okay. He's a big part of their offense. Their running back, Devin Neal, 10 touchdowns, 900 yards. He's almost to 1,000-yard mark. Could easily hit that Saturday. He's only 74 yards away from 1,000. So that's probably happening. So they are a run first type team. When you look at the percentage splits for them, as far as, what percentage run versus pass, they're sitting at a 56% run versus a 43% pass, give or take. Obviously, I'm not naming out all the points of that. Whereas obviously our team and looking at the defense, that's the other big thing. They don't really do anything that well. They're in the 70s to 100s in rankings for rush defense and pass defense. So there's not one thing that you can really say. And in all honesty, the one thing that kind of jumps out to me when looking at the stats, the opponent passes on them per game. They haven't faced a pass heavy team really this season. they're averaging 29 pass plays a game. We average 42, 40 pass plays a game. So you look at that and you wonder, okay, what does that mean? Their corners, although they think that they're the very best in the world, have not really had to face, the type of offense that they're going to be seeing on Saturday. So it's a real opportunity for the offense, I think, to kind of get out of a rut that I would say they're in, even though we've been putting up points. It just seems like some of the time I guess the consistency, what's the word I want to even use with that? The rhythm of it. Like they're not really getting in rhythm each game and really rolling that way. So I don't know. What have you seen from Kansas? What have you seen with some of these players? What are your thoughts on where we're going with this?
Well, I love that you just brought up the style in which Colorado plays with. They haven't seen, man. They have not seen, especially to this level. And I think we are entering this matchup where we have the better defense and the better offense, which is, always advantageous. When you look at their wins right now, of course, impressive wins, knocking
Yes.
off BYU and was it
Iowa
Iowa
State.
State?
Yep, Iowa State. Back-to-back
Iowa
weeks.
State. Yeah. Both of these are, run heavy. The styles make fights type of thing. And I think Kansas's style that they play with right now really does match up better with what BYU and Iowa State do as well. Now, BYU, I think their offense is a little bit more explosive, just with some of the misdirection that they run. But it was impressive, man. It was a low-scoring affair out there in Provo, but going out there in Provo, getting that victory on the road, that's nothing to that's nothing to diminish. Like they are red hot right now. I think that we're going to get their best punch. It sure seems like Kobe Bryant. This is an incredibly important matchup for him. The cornerback of Kansas Jayhawks. He says, man, he's ready. He's ready for this matchup with Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. So I think that we're going to get their best punch. But as the Buffs have proven, as the season's gone on, is that we've been able to take our opponent's best punch and then give it to them and then knock them out by the end of the game. So I think that this game all comes down to, is Colorado going to do their job and handle their business? I'm confident that they're going to do that.
Yeah, it has to happen. I mean, I know it's going to happen. I am pretty confident in this. I'm not feeling nervous this week. To be honest, both the Iowa State game and the BYU game for Kansas, I honestly felt like Kansas was going to win those games even before those games started. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not impressed with what I see from Iowa State. I'm not impressed with what I saw from BYU all season. They're barely hanging on against Utah. We saw what happened when we played Utah, right? And if anything, Utah had a better quarterback against us than what BYU ended up seeing. So that tells you, when you look at those matchups and how they did against teams that we've faced and what's going on, our best is going to be way better than what Kansas can put out there. Even if we don't bring our absolute best, we could probably still hang in there and potentially come out with a win. It may be closer. But again, if we bring our best, Kansas does not have a chance to stay in this game. And so, I am fairly confident in what is happening and what's going to be happening this game.
Yeah, SB Warren bringing up a great question right here. Can we stop the wheel routes, the jet sweeps, the QB runs, all of that? And I think that our game against Kansas State already is fantastic preparation, I think, for just kind of the style that the Jayhawks are going to play with. And Jalen Daniels, I don't know. Maybe he's about the same type of athlete that Avery Johnson is. I would think that Avery Johnson right now has a little bit better of an arm, a little bit more of a threat with his arm. I'm not sure what you think, but I think the fact is that if we had Kansas State a second time, I think we beat them. And I think because we're going to know how to defend that offense. that's why I'm also very confident in this defense and in handling business this game in Kansas City.
I mean, here's the thing. Jalen Daniels has definitely picked up his passing from what it was at the beginning of the season. He's now putting up a lot better of numbers overall, but he is turnover,
Yes.
fairly often. He does take sacks, decently often, being a scrambling quarterback, trying to get a play going. Between him and Shador, wow, yeah, I still can't believe Shador's already up to 30 sacks on him. So there is that side to it, but I mean, yeah, it's the same game plan we've been seeing most of the season, David. It's focus on the run, force them to pass, force this quarterback to become, this unbelievable quarterback and beat us with their arm. And guys, we've got to realize that our defense and just the plays that we're going to go through is a kind of bend but do not break format. Are we going to give up some big plays? Yes. We are probably going to give up some quarterback runs. Now, do we give up a 60-yard quarterback run where Jalen Daniels scores a touchdown? I would hope not. Okay. That's when it gets a little bit different. But is he going to get some first downs? Is he going to extend some drives with his legs? Yes. It's not the end of the world. Okay. We need, 2, 3, 4 drives that we need to stop Kansas. And we'll probably be, feeling pretty good about where we end up. Now, as far as Kansas's defense, they do have a decent number of guys on the defensive line who are coming up with stats such as, sacks. They've got 2 players with 5.5 and 1 player with 4 sacks. Okay. That's pretty darn good. But here's the problem, Dave, and here's why we lead the conference in sacks and they don't. They are heavily dependent on those top guys. Okay. They are heavily dependent on those top guys. Whereas Colorado, the stats go on for pages because we are so deep and are able to rotate. So, that's going to be a big difference maker of, can we figure that out? You know what that does too, Dave? That when you're watching film, if there are only 2 guys you need to watch out for, you can focus on that. When it's Colorado, you've got to memorize 8 guys, how they're going to go at you
around it. Yeah.
It's so much more difficult when you have that depth and can put so many different looks in there versus just one look. And let's be honest right now, we've got Cash Cleveland, who's literally watching hours of film every week and figuring out these guys' tendencies to call them out during the game. Like, that cannot be stressed enough how big of a benefit Cash brings just in that role alone. Like, even though he's undersized, even though he could easily be pushed around, even though he's not, but I'm saying he could, the strength that he brings with his knowledge and ability to direct the line at the time of the snap is completely invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to really look at on the defensive side of the ball for them and our offense.
I wanted to take a look at this too, just so you guys watching have an idea of just kind of where they're at statistically on both total offense and defense. Right now, Buffs 358 yards per game given up on defense. Kansas Jayhawks 380 points per game allowed. Colorado Buffaloes at 22.7 and Kansas Jayhawks 24.6. Colorado's given up 139 yards on the ground, 219 through the air. Kansas Jayhawks 229 yards through the air and 151 yards on the ground. Again, like this, I think this is a solid defense. They've been playing better as of late, but as you've pointed out, Russ, I think we can scheme around some of their better playmakers. Of course, Kobe Bryant against Travis Hunter is going to be interesting to watch. I'm not particularly sure of who else is in that Kansas secondary to where Jayhawks fans might feel like they could shut down this passing attack. I don't know about that. But especially if we're getting Jimmy Horn back this week, good luck. Good luck trying to defend all 4 of those guys out on the field. I just don't see it happening.
So Kansas's best DB is not Kobe Bryant.
Oh,
their best DB is Mello Dotson.
Oh, yeah.
He's got 5 interceptions, 2 touchdowns off of interceptions. Okay. So he is probably the better of the two at this point, with what he's been. I mean, 5 interceptions and 2 touchdowns, 2 pick sixes. Like, that's some good stuff from him.
He's on a hot streak right now. 2
Yeah,
picks in the
that
last 2
that's
games.
why they're winning these games right now, is he's making the difference on that side of the ball. It's not a case of the offense is winning these games. It's a case of a little bit of both, for both of them, and they're not really dominating any of those games. I know 45 on Iowa State, great, but allowing 36 up. The loss to K-State, we could talk about that. The beating Houston, that's fine, but outside of that, they are on a hot streak. But I do like the way that we play the game. And let's be honest, Dave, the games that he has gotten interceptions from, look who the quarterbacks are. Like, they're not Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Like, Shedeur might be good for 1 pick this game, but I completely trust the fact that they are not going to have a lot of chances to make a big difference in this game when everything's said and done.
Yeah, they gotta. Shedeur has to have a clean game this week. I think he does. He'll learn from that. We've seen too many first drive interceptions from him this year. 3's enough. 3's enough, right? And 2 with their offense. They average more yards per game than we do by 404 to 400. Only 203 yards passing to our 322.
Yep.
And they run the ball for 200. As right now we got 77, which of course has been last, but it's better than it was. And right now we're averaging 34 points a game. They're at 30. I really do think that, hey, can they stop our passing attack, and can we stop their run game? That's really what it's going to come down to. Can we force Jalen Daniels to be a pocket passer coming back from behind? Let's get Kansas out of what they want to do. They want to muddy this thing up just like Utah was trying to do, right?
Exactly. And again, that's what's been so great about this schedule. And we talked about it before the season. They're going to see the same teams over and over and over again. Run first quarterbacks, heavy run offenses. And I don't see a DJ Giddens out there. Like, DJ Giddens is the best running back in the Big 12 by far. He is dynamic. That is why he had a good game. Did that affect the game to where Colorado got blown out or didn't have a chance? No. We probably should have won the Kansas State game even playing poor rush offense or rush defense.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about that is, again, nobody has faced a team like us. Every time they play us, it's the first time they're playing that pass-heavy offense. And then number 2, the big thing when we talk about it is having a good running offense, but having a bad pass defense for a team is a sign of, potentially not working out. Because even if you control the, amount of time on the field, we can hit points very quickly. We've seen it. We've seen Shedeur in the 2-minute, the 1-minute drill go 90 yards and score a touchdown. So we can score at will. It's not a case of not, letting Shedeur on the field. I get that whole, sentiment, but it doesn't work with Colorado. It doesn't. You have got to be able to match us in the passing game. And that's the only way that's going to work for a Kansas, for any of these teams we play, including, next week against Oklahoma State as well. So I don't think there's anything to really worry about for everybody. I think we're going to be just fine in this game. What I even love, Dave, is that this is a neutral field. I don't care what anybody says. It's in Kansas, yes, but it is way too far away from Lawrence for it to matter. Okay. If anything, I could very well see there being more Buffs fans than Kansas fans when it's all said and done.
Yep. My man Rawhide's going to be in Kansas City for this one. So that's going to be fun. I imagine there's going to be a lot of Buffs fans that want to use this as an excuse to go and check out Arrowhead. I've been to a couple Broncos games out there in my lifetime, and it was a lot of fun, man. Those Chiefs fans, they turned up. I'm not expecting it to feel like an Arrowhead there with the Chiefs game going on. No. And it's going to be nice, I think, playing on the real grass. there at Arrowhead. I always do like that. And because we play on grass, I think we're going to feel like we're right at home, which I think is going to be great. So, um, Russ, I am going to put you on the spot here really quick. That's okay if you don't know, but where was it? First comment of the whole stream. Gennaro coming in here. Can you discuss Kansas's depleted wide receiver core? I got to be honest. I don't know which receivers they got healthy, which ones they don't.
I don't know either. I don't know who's going to play. I know who their best receiver is right now. I mean, you can easily see that when you just look at the stats. And I'm not sure if I'm even worried about him.
Yeah, Luke Graham.
Luke Graham, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Not a massive guy that's going to, go up. I mean, 582 yards is half of our best receiver. Like, that's not much. Yes, he's got 6 touchdowns. Yes, he averages 13 yards per catch. But I just, Quentin Skinner's the second one. He's got 4 touchdowns, 21-yard average. That's a little bit better. So he is their deep threat, it would appear, or at least the playmaking ability to get going. But I have no idea what their injury report looks like. I don't know if we can find it online. Of course, as everybody knows, Colorado does not put out any injury reports, so we never know what's going on.
If we're
with
not
our team.
mandated to, there's no reason. There's no reason to.
No.
It only goes to help the opponent. I don't know why these certain schools do it. I don't know why Utah put out an injury report or Texas Tech. That blew my mind.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it looks like, yeah. So I see where they were saying like the depleted wide receiver core, because yes, they have 4 wide receivers right now that have been out. One more receiver went out last week and is questionable, but 3 others have been out since the middle of October, beginning of October. They also are missing a tight end who's been out for the season. And so to me, that tells me that Luke Grimm is not their normal starting quarter or wide receiver that's doing well. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm not too worried, Dave. I love our DBs. Even if we don't get Preston Hodge back this week, I am completely fine. Colton Hood, Carter Stoutmeyer have been stepping up big time. Guys, the future is bright even in the DB room. Like, I was a little worried looking at the DB room and what we were missing, and I wasn't sure what our depth would be. But man, Colton Hood and Carter Stoutmeyer are going to do just fine with us in the future of that backfield. So I'm not too worried, even if we're missing one of the guys this Saturday.
And I think that this is something to point out, Russ, because I don't know. I mean, I haven't at least discussed it. I don't know if you have, but RJ Johnson started the season as number 26, opposite of Brandon Hood, who is also number 26. The last few games, he did receive a New Jersey number 5. He has been playing with that number 5 over the past couple weeks. So I think that also bodes well that he's putting in the work next year to make an impact, whether that's at safety or at corner. And he's been solid on special teams as well, as I like to call him, RJ jumping on loose balls Johnson. So he's been killing it. He's jumped on 2 loose balls this year. So yeah, I'm feeling great about our secondary. I want to get to some of the super chats if that's okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ron Alexander, sorry, I'm just now getting into this. Thank you for the cup of coffee. He says, I'm very nervous about Saturdays. With you guys knowing more than the normal, you think we're good this Saturday? I mean, I hope we've alleviated some of your fears, Ron, but I do have to say this as well, Russ. There's a couple reasons why we can't lose this game and why I'm confident we won't. Number 1 is my birthday. We cannot lose a game on my birthday. I'm going to be so pissed if that happens. Nah, man, like we can't do that. But also, it's the anniversary of 62-36, man, on Saturday, man. We got to go out there and play dominantly. This team knows what that history means.
I will tell you this, guys. There's a couple other things that should make you feel better. We're playing on the road. We're absolutely dominant on the road this season, right, Dave? I mean, outside of the Nebraska game, when it comes to road games, we have been exactly where we need to be. Number 2, it is another early start for the game. We're not playing at 9:00 at night. So we don't have to deal with that.
What time's
So
kickoff?
what time is kickoff?
Go back and see. I didn't even look at the kickoff time yet this week. So busy of a week it's been for me. I don't
Yeah,
even know what time we
1:30.
play.
1:30.
1:30 Mountain. All right.
So, yep, that's Mountain Time. 1:30 Mountain Time. So early game on the road, guys. That's even more things to just stack up of why you shouldn't be worried about this Saturday. Enjoy the game. Please, 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 please do not crash out. Okay. If there's a slow start. I see that way too many times. Literally last week when Shador threw that pick, I should have, the crashing out that was happening was absolutely insane.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's hilarious. I think it's so entertaining. And yeah, it's fun to crash out for a brief moment. Fun, fun to crash out.
Plus, yeah, hey, it's Peggy's birthday week, Dave. Are we forgetting that it's Peggy's 100th birthday week?
Now, yes. Well, I do got a bone to pick, though. I do kind of got a bone to pick with Julian Lewis. That, you know, his commitment would have been the best birthday gift to Peggy ever. And what are you doing, man? What are you doing? I got a bone to pick. I got a bone to pick with Julian Lewis. What are you
Julian,
doing?
we know you're watching. We know you're listening right this moment. You're probably in the chat. You have some burner account.
He's got nothing better to do, right?
You still
nothing
got, hey, he's still got, a couple hours if he wants to do it.
Right. It's not like he's got to worry about these state playoffs, anything like that. He's got to be watching these videos. But
no.
Yeah, we got to win. There's too much on the line. This game means way more for us than it means for Kansas, and we've shown that we're going to come in and handle business. And maybe we can get off to a fast start in this game, though. That would be nice. I want to get to Coach Barry again. Thank you for the $5. He says he dropped $6. Okay, for CU to beat Kansas. Do you mean 6K? Or are you spending $5 to tell me you just bet $6 on CU?
That would be the greatest thing ever. Greatest thing ever.
Coach Barry's a high roller, so I'm gonna say that's $6,000, but nonetheless, hilarious. Let's go. Coach Barry never misses. And lastly, another $5. KU gave up an approximate average of 27 points per game to teams. CU's offense is going to light them up if they jump on them fast and they kick their ass. Hey, I agree. Let's get off to a fast start. Let's get them out of what they want to do, which is muck this thing up, just like Utah tried to do. Now, they were successful at it for a little bit, but then, the cream rose to the top. The cream came. And that, the cream's going to come again on my birthday. There we go.
Well, he officially gave you $7 for Coach Barry. Killing it.
Too funny. Well, I think that's all the super chats we got, unless I missed one. Again, thank you so much, Coach Barry. Thanks for the birthday wish, buddy. Hope all is well. Yeah, but we just got to shut down Jaden Daniels, this running back, Dean they got, and I'm feeling very confident about this, and let's go ahead and put ourselves one win away from the Big 12 championship. I mean, we could still get in there with a win and BYU winning and Utah winning this weekend, but I don't know how likely Utah is going to win.
Yeah. I think the only thing that matters right now, Dave, by the way, we just need to win. I've had a lot of people talk to me about the fact that we could win tomorrow and clinch the Big 12 championship berth if, BYU and Iowa State lose. Don't worry about that, guys. Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about style points right now. Thankfully, we're in control of our own destiny. But I do got an axe to grind right now with certain people of the College Football Playoff Committee. That is not Rick George. Poor Rick George probably pulling out his hair right now. What the hell is up with this talk about Boise State getting the 4th conference spot in the College Football Playoff if they continue to win out? That's a load of BS, man. I'm sorry. But I've never seen a team given a fake win, losing to Oregon, like Boise State has given that. What are we doing? What are we doing right now? Elevating a G5 school as high as they have been, and one that, hey, whether you like it or not, they got a loss on their record. I know it's against Oregon, but it's still a loss, and they've had some close wins against some teams in the Mountain West. And by the way, the Mountain West isn't even the strongest G5 conference. It's the AAC. No, I don't want that bull junk. If something happens to where Colorado wins out, Russ, wins the Big 12 championship, and Boise State is awarded that number 4 seed and first round bye over them, man, something's got to change. We riot. We riot. Don't even get me started on the SEC. Mizzou still ranked? What are we doing? College football's a joke.
The playoff rankings just frustrate me. Rankings in general frustrate me. I hate that we haven't figured out some kind of, computer generated simulation to figure this stuff out. But whatever, we're going to win out. It's not going to matter, Dave. We'll be okay. Although I did say this earlier, if for whatever reason we win out and Boise State somehow is ahead of us, the only benefit we could see from that is we would get a home playoff game in the first round. That would be, can you imagine what Boulder would be like if we had a home playoff game, Dave?
It'd be so much fun.
Can you imagine who would be there? Like the celebrities that would be there. I mean, think about it. They're coming for just random games. I mean, everybody who's everybody would come down into Boulder for that game. It would be the most expensive sports ticket since the Nuggets were in the NBA championship. Like, that would be absolutely insane. Now,
wait, I don't know if we would get a home game, though.
It depends. It depends on where we would be ranked. It would.
Oh, yeah.
It would all be based on the rankings and who they match us up with.
Yeah, which, again, the Big 12, they've just been getting crapped on in these rankings, man. I mean, BYU lost, but they've had a stronger resume than other teams prior to this week. They beat SMU. Which SMU could win the ACC, and it would not surprise me if they do it. But yeah, Coach Barry's saying, they say if Boise and Army went out, our Buffs can be terminated from the college football playoff even when we win the conference. Don't hit me with that. Do people, they cannot vote in good conscience that the Big 12 is a worse conference than both the AAC and the G5.
I don't think that that's possible. Or everything. Well, everything I've read said that the Big 12 does get a guaranteed spot. The Big 12 champion does get a guaranteed spot. So that's not happening. Okay. Yeah. No. If we win the conference championship, we're in the playoffs, guys. Just an FYI, that's part of the rules. The Big 12 is one of the guaranteed spots. It's a reason why Colorado came to the Big 12 in the first place, was because of that guaranteed spot. So no, we're not going to completely miss out. Now, could we get the 12th ranking in the playoff as a conference champion? Yes, we could. That could happen.
Okay. But man, I got to tell you, with a $600K quarterback, the Colorado State Rams better take down Boise State, baby. That's what I
believe that we're about to become Rams fans, Dave.
I love it. I love the irony. I'm all about it, man.
Can I see you this weekend where, like,
CSU, they're just little brother. You beat up on them when the time is appropriate, but then when they're playing other, they're fighting other little kids, you just cheer for your little brother, man. That's what it's all about.
I would love to see, Dave, the weekend of the Mountain West Championship, you wearing some Rams ears, just going all out.
Oh, so some Rams horns. That's
yes,
right.
The horns.
Yeah,
sorry, yes. Wear some sheep horns.
Yeah.
Be ready to go. Just be cheering that team on. We're gonna be big Fowler Nicolosi fans. Torrey Horton's gonna dominate that championship game. They're not gonna know what hit them.
Jiffy Lube Jay is really gonna scheme it up. Like I love it. I think it's great.
Oh my
I think it's
gosh.
so great because if the Rams want to continue to do what they're doing, man, they got to help out Big Brother. It's only right. It's only right. I love it.
I think there
See,
was
I'm proud to be a
one.
CSU Ram, but Buddy knows the chant.
And we all know the opposing chant for it. Yep.
Yeah.
Jay Norvell, show the world you a good coach. We got everybody crashing out. The Rams are going to be they're going to have the highest rated watched game ever when they play Boise State because all the Colorado fans who have record ratings are going to watch that game as a hate watch just to see Boise State and Ashton Genty lose.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I I think there was one more question I saw that I thought was a good one that we could get to.
Yeah,
Then we'll
it's
wrap
I
this
think it's
thing up.
Gennaro's that you saved about a certain commit. Is that the one you're talking about?
Oh, no, but that's also a good one because I forgot about it. This is why we got a co-host doing this.
Nope. I'm going to say already no. Again, stop. Okay. You know, the Michael Jordan meme of just stop. Okay. Stop bringing up Winston Watkins. Okay, guys, that ship has sailed. That was his own doing. Okay. Coach Prime can get anybody he wants. Winston Watkins ruined his chance and has just not even been a thought in the mind of any college football team. I mean, the guy doesn't even have really any interest going on at this point. Okay.
You are ruthless.
Yes.
The 17-year-old is dead to us. Move on.
He fell for the old Coach Prime isn't sticking around. If you won't commit to this program and you're that easily swayed, goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. We can get receivers just as good as you. Now, if Winston Watkins was the number one receiver in the class, Dave, and he just continued his 5-star trajectory, maybe Coach Prime would think about it. But it's just not where it needs to be. At this point, if I'm being honest, our 2 wide receiver commits are better. And Gibson is going to be an overall better fit when it comes to the team.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What do you think? Gibson's like our Jimmy Horn Jr. replacement? Like, dude, that dude can fly, man.
Yes.
He can absolutely fly. Hey, Levon Lopez in here for the $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Are you happy?
Boy.
Are you happy? Do you happen to be putting an $11 bet on the Buffs to win this weekend? Let me know. Coach Barry in here. You might have to fight this one out with Coach Barry a little bit. He's putting $5 on the 5 highest ranked conference champs to get automatic bids. So if somehow the Big 12 becomes a G5 conference, and I don't know, man. People just hate the Big 12 for some reason, man. I don't know what it is. We need to start a new agenda, and I think Coach Prime recognizes it too because he's saying the Senior Bowl, nah, man, these guys are throwing the whole conference shade. They're throwing the Buffs shade. You know what? We're just going to be sending our guys to the East-West Shrine Bowl now. I imagine with Brett Yormark, his relationship they have with AT&T Stadium, with the Big 12 pro day that they're going to be doing, I think that you could see some more stuff just happening with the East-West Shrine Bowl kind of highlighting more of the Big 12. But the Big 12 has a narrative issue. You have seen the SEC now rewarded for blowing out teams like Mercer here in November, man. Dude, it is the softest thing. This is not the SEC of old, man. This is a mid-conference outside of the top dogs per usual. But and they play 8 conference games. And they're getting rewarded like they're playing a full 12-game slate of SEC teams.
Yeah, it's really, really frustrating. It's interesting when you look, because I've been looking at some different strength of schedule stuff over the last week. And it's very interesting that Colorado is actually fairly high when it comes to strength of schedule on most places. So it's not like we're playing this cupcake schedule. I mean, in all honesty, playing North Dakota State helped us a ton.
They're really good.
Well, when it comes to FCS opponents, Colorado State is going to their conference championship after all, okay? You know, the only team that's really crapping the bed for us is Nebraska.
Come on, Nebraska. Right when we need you guys to actually be good. to make our loss look good. You guys aren't even going to get a bowl game this year again. With egg on my face, I said they could be the hardest opponent we played all year. But you guys don't come here for that analysis. You guys don't come here for that.
Yeah, but like looking at strength of schedule, like teams that are behind Colorado, Missouri, you just mentioned them. How is this team still ranked? Okay. 3-loss Missouri. Indiana is way behind in strength of schedule, by the way.
I know.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, can you send me the link and I can pull it up here for like strength of schedule? Because I want to compare it with
one of them. Hold on, I want to find the ESPN one too, just to take a look.
We're going down this rabbit hole right
now. Here's one, and they have a multitude of. Let's see if we can post this. I'll privately chat that to you. Whoops.
Thank you.
There you go. There's a couple of different ways that you can look at it. And we're pretty high up in each of those. Depends on what team, but like behind us, Boise State in the API, Missouri in the API. Missouri is behind us.
Dude, what a joke, dude. Okay. All right. Is this up? Okay. It's up. Let me move Coach Barry's comment away. Okay. So the what does SOR mean?
If you scroll over it, so SOR is strength of record rank, reflects chance that an average top 25 team would have that team's record or better given the schedule. No clue what
I just
that
want
means.
The strength of schedule right here.
The SOS.
Yeah. Right.
Potentially. I mean, we're down far, but who's behind us? Boise State, Notre Dame is behind us.
Where are we?
Tulane is behind us.
Dude, come on, man. Tulane's behind us. Army.
Oh,
wow. Colorado State had a tougher strength of schedule than we did. That's hilarious. And we beat them. They're at 50. Colorado is at 74. Boise State is at 77. Notre Dame 82. Well, Notre Dame plays 0 conference games. They shouldn't even be qualified for the college football playoff, but it is what it is. SMU 86.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see and look at this and just see where teams are.
Indiana 106. Are you serious? This is why the Big Ten is so overrated. It's top heavy, just like the SEC is, man. It's top heavy. You got Indiana playing the 106 toughest schedule, and there's like 130 teams. Look at who they played. Florida International, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State. I guess all these teams kind of suck more than normal, like right here.
This weekend, we'll find out, okay? We'll find out if Indiana is for real, okay? Playing Ohio State at Ohio State. If Indiana not only wins, because I don't think a close win is going to say that much, I mean, if they blow them out, yeah, Indiana deserves to be the top team in the country at that point, if I'm being truly honest. But guess what, Dave? Not only do they have to go through Ohio State, but they're going to have to face Oregon in that Big Ten championship game as it stands.
Dude, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. I'll root for him, man. Army has how is Army? What? Dude, Army's going to get destroyed. They're going to get destroyed against Notre Dame. Are you serious? They have the second worst strength of schedule. Oh, yeah, dude. They might even lose to UTSA. I'm going to be honest. I know UTSA is like a 500 football team right now, but
Notre Dame's going to beat them.
Yeah. We can.
Because look at who they played. Look at that. Look at those wins, guys. Look at them.
Dude, college football's so broken. We have to fix this somehow. But we're down.
Please,
we're down a dark path, man. I don't know if we can fix it.
Dave, check the super chat.
Oh no.
Check the most recent super chat. Again, we got some like heat tonight. We've got some heat tonight.
And more top heavy than Sydney Sweeney. Oh my lord, that's
top heavy.
Yeah,
that's top heavy.
Man, this is hilarious. Thank you, John Peel, coming in with the $2 super, the $3 bet on the Buffs this weekend. Coach Barry's saying 5 highest conference ranked conference champs auto bids, 7 highest ranked teams remaining. We'll round out the 12-team format. The top 4 teams. Okay, so that's why they've said a G5 will always get the best or get an automatic bid. The top 4 teams out of that 5 will receive a first round bye for the quarterfinals. Yes. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach, for getting us right.
That's right.
But
I'll give it to him.
You got to get these rankings right. You got to get the committee to get these rankings right, man. I mean, this is crazy to me, man. Buff should be higher. And I don't see why Boise State seems to just be given the benefit of the doubt, man. I just don't see it, but it is what it is. Tulane ain't making it if they win out the conference, which I think they will. But they're not getting a top 5 bid over CU. No way. Not with their 2 losses. Where are their 2 losses to? Oklahoma and KSU. I mean, there's a bad Oklahoma team, right?
They're still ranked 15.
5-5.
They're ahead of us.
5-5, dude.
How are they ahead of us? How are they ranked 15th?
Dude, I know. Wait, no.
Are they?
Am I looking at the wrong? No, they're ranked 20th. Texas A&M is ranked ahead of us.
Oh, okay.
They got to lose this week, UT. That's going to happen. Calling it. So they'll jump. We'll be fine. Again, we got to just
win out.
Yeah, we just got to handle business. All that to say. But it was fun going. Hey, thank you, John Teal, dropping the $2 super on Sydney Sweeney. And now an official Buff Buddy. I have renamed Russ my channel membership. You guys get some high quality content. You want to be my Buff Buddy? Come on and join. It's $5 a month. I did an in-depth analysis a few days ago on options for the mystery flavor of the Pop-Tarts Bowl mascot.
That's money right there, guys. If you don't know what is a value right in front of you, it's a video finding out about the Pop-Tart mascot right there. That's gold. It's gold.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
So we still haven't. We should probably really quickly get our score predictions out there.
Yeah.
We've gone off the rails today, guys. We've gone off the rails.
We gotta start saving people right now. We gotta get focused. We've got
Buddy Googling Sydney Sweeney. Enjoy that. Guys.
Okay. Hey guys, as I come up with my prediction, we got 400 people in here. Please go subscribe to Russ's channel. Go subscribe to Legendary Will as well. I link both of them in my video description, and like all the shows, it's super helpful. But anyways, score prediction. Russ, do you have one?
I do.
Okay.
38-24 Colorado.
Beautiful.
38-24.
38-24. I'm going with 62-36, baby.
There it is. Guys, we've got it.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Russ, before we log off, you got anything else to cover?
Just real quick, be on the lookout tomorrow because some things might be going down. Things might be going down.
Do I need to cancel my meetings for a third day in a row?
Tomorrow morning. If you have anything tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. Mountain, you might want to hold off.
No. Well, we'll just we'll see how it goes. Well, Russ, thank you so much for joining in. I might have to put a members only video out on how the SEC sucks. I'm about that agenda now. Brady B. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow. Sounds like Russ might be back tomorrow. So be sure to subscribe to his channel, put on that bell notification. We'll see you all again soon. As always, Sco Buffs.
Sco Buffs.